Magandang buhay! Welcome to my YouTube channel. Ako po si Teacher Jill. Huwag kalimutan mag-subscribe, share, and like, at i-click ang notification bell para sa iba ko pang mga math videos. Today's lesson is all about MEL Quarter 1 of Week 4 Math 5. Solving real-life problems involving GCF and LCM of 2 to 3 given numbers. Finding the common factors and the GCF of 2 to 4 numbers using continuous division. Okay, so before we start our topic today, let's have first a recap of the different definition of terms that we need to know. First is the prime number. It is a whole number with only two factors of 1 and itself, while a composite number is a whole number with more than 2 or more factors of 1 and itself. Number 2 is the only even prime number. It is a special number. It is neither prime nor composite. Prime factorization is expressing a number as a product of prime factors. In finding the prime factors, we can use the factor tree or the continuous division. Greatest common factor is also known as the GCF. It is the greatest factor that two or more numbers have in common. To solve for this, first is we list all the factors of each number and then multiply the common factors. While in LCM or least common multiple, it is the smallest multiple that two or more numbers have in common. And to solve for this, we can use listing method, prime factorization, and the continuous division. Okay, now, so let's practice. Write P on the blank if the number is prime and see if it is composite. So, for number 1, 11, number 2, 24, number 3, 33, number 4, 49, and number 5, 83. Okay, are you done? So, let's check your answers. Okay, so these are the answers. 11 is prime, 24 is composite, 33 is composite also, and 49 is composite, and the last number is a prime number. Did you get the correct answer? Very good. Okay, so let's have problem 1. Miss Cruz has 12 intermediate pad papers, 24 pencils, and 36 notebooks that are to be shared among her grade 5 pupils. Each pupil will get an equal number of items. Find the largest possible number of pupils who will receive the items. How many of each kind will each pupil get? How will you solve for the problem? Okay, by following the different steps. The first one is understand what is asked in the problem. The largest possible number of pupils who can receive the items. The number of items in each pupil. Next is the facts that are given. What are the facts? 12 intermediate pads, 24 pencils, and 36 notebooks. For the plan, how will you solve the problem? By finding the common factors and the greatest common factor or GCF using continuous division. And to solve for that, how is the solution done? By finding the common factors and the greatest common factors or GCF. So for the given, which is 12, 24, and 36. So we need to find the GCF of the three numbers, which is 12, 24, and 36. So we're going to use the continuous division. We need to think of a number that can be divided with these three numbers, and the smallest prime number is 2. So they can be divided by 2. So 12 divided by 2 is 6. 24 divided by 2 will give us 12, and 36 divided by 2 will give us 18. Since the answers are all composite, so we need to think again of a number or a digit that can be divided with these three numbers, which is also a prime number. So 6 divided by 2, which is a prime number or the smallest prime number, is 3. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 18 divided by 2 will give us 9. So the answers are 3, 6, and 9. 3, 6, and 9 is still composite numbers except for the 3 or the number 3. So we're going to think of a number that can be divided with these three numbers, which are 3, 6, and 9. And that is the number 3. So 3 divided by 3 will give us 1. 6 divided by 3 will give us 2. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. So these numbers outside the continuous division are for the data of each pupil's notebooks. Then, to answer that problem, the GCF, all we have to do is just multiply these numbers outside the continuous division symbol. So 2 times 2 times 3, that will give us 12. So the largest possible number of pupils who will receive the items is 12. We'll get 1 intermediate pad, 2 pencils, and 3 notebooks. We need to remember that when we express a number as a product of only prime numbers, we are using the process of prime factorization. One way to determine the prime factors of a number is using the continuous division. Okay, so let's have problem number 2. Teresa owns a dry goods store and Che owns a restaurant. They buy their goods and supplies every 6 weeks and 8 weeks, respectively. If they buy their goods in the department store this week, on what week will they buy again their goods and supplies at the same time? Who owns the store or the restaurant? Who owns a dry goods store? When does Teresa buy her goods and supplies? What about Che? How will you solve this problem? Can you think of ways to solve it? Again, you can use the 4-step plan in solving for the answer. Okay, so let's use the 4-step plan. The first one is understand. What is asked in the problem? The work that Teresa and Che will buy at the same time. What facts are given? 6 weeks and 8 weeks respectively. Plan. How will you solve the problem? By finding the common multiples and least common multiple using the continuous division. And to solve for that, how is the solution done? By finding the common multiples and the least common multiples using the continuous division. So for our given, which is 6 and 8, let's try to find the LCM of 6 and 8. So what will be the numbers that can be divided to 6 and 8 that is a prime number? So the smallest prime number is 2. So 6 and 8 can be divided by 2, which is 6 divided by 2 will give us 3. 8 divided by 2 will give us 4. 3 is already a prime number and 4 is a composite. So we need to divide 4 with a prime number. And the smallest prime number that can be divided to 4 is 2. So 3 cannot be divided to 2. All we have to do is just bring down 3. Then 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now, we need to set all the numbers should be prime numbers, or all the numbers outside the continuous division should be prime numbers. So, we need to divide it again by 3. Since 3 can be divided by 3, but 2 cannot be divided by 3. So, 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 2 cannot be divided by 3. All we have to do is just copy. Now, all the numbers outside the division symbol or the continuous division symbol are prime numbers. And to get the LCM, all you have to do is just multiply all the numbers outside. So the answer for the problem which is the LCM, will give us 2 times 2 times 3 times 1 times 2, or 24. So, Teresa and Che will buy at the same time on the 20. Remember that to find the greatest common factor of numbers, using the continuous division, first is write the number horizontally and find a prime number that will divide the numbers if possible. Divide by that prime number and write the quotients below the dividends. Copy any numbers not divided below them. Next is continue the process until no two numbers have a common prime divisor. Then, multiply at the prime divisors common to the given numbers to get the GCF. Now, to find the least common multiples of numbers using continuous division, the first step is write the number horizontally and find a prime number that will be divided the numbers if possible. Next is divide the prime number and write the quotients below the dividends. Copy any numbers not divided below them. Next is continue the process until no two numbers have a common prime divisor. And last is multiply at the prime divisor and the last set of quotients to get the LCM. Okay, let's begin our exercises. Alright, so let's have first the number 1. Find the GCF of 24 and 40 using the prime factorization. So the prime factors of 24 are 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. Next is 40, 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. So the GCF, which is 2 times 2 times 2, or they have 3 2's, and that will give us 8. Now, using the continuous division, let's see if we can still get the same answer. So, 24 and 40 are divisible by 2. So, 24 divided by 2 is 12. 40 divided by 2 is 20. Since 12 and 20 are still composite numbers, we're going to divide it again by 2. So, 12 divided by 2 will give us 6. 20 divided by 2 will give us 10. And 6 and 10 are still composite numbers. So, continue to divide by the smallest number, which is 2, because they are divisible by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now, all the numbers outside the continuous division are prime numbers, but we're not going to get all those numbers. We're just going to get all the common numbers on the division or continuous division symbol, which are 2 times 2 times 2, and that is 8. So, we still get the same answer. Alright, let's try to solve the following numbers. Okay, for number 2, find the GCF of 45 and 81 using the prime factorization. So, for 45, the prime factors are 3 times 3 times 5. And for 81, 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So, they have common, which are the 2 3's. Okay? So, 3 times 3, and that will give us 9. And that is the GCF. Now, using the continuous division, let's see if we can still get the same answer, which is 9. So, 45 and 81 can be divided with the prime number, which is 3, since they cannot be divided by 2. So, 45 divided by 3 is 15, 81 divided by 3 is 27. These two numbers are composite. So, 15 and 27 can be divided by 3. So, 15 divided by 3 is 5. 27 divided by 3 is 9. So, 5 is prime, but 9 is composite. So, we're going to continue dividing it with 3. So, 5 divided by 3 cannot be divided. So, all we have to do is bring down 5. Then, 9 divided by 3 is 3. Now, the GCF, or the common, which is 3 times 3. And that will give us 9. Okay, so let's have number 3. Find the LCM of 12, 15, and 60 using the continuous division. So, think of a number that can be divided to 12, 15, and 60, and that is 3. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 60 divided by 3 is 20. Now, let's check each number if it is prime or composite. 4 is composite, 5 is prime, 20 is composite. Now, at least with these two numbers that can be divided with the same given number, and that is 5. So, 4 divided by 5 cannot be, so bring it down. Then, 5 divided by 5 is 1. 20 divided by 5 is 4. Now, the quotient are 4, 1, and 4. Since 4 and 4 are still composite, so we need to think of a number that can be divided to 4, and that is 2. So 4 divided by 2 will give us 2. 1 divided by 2 is 1 or cannot be. So next is 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now, we need to make all the numbers here below to be all 1. So, let's divide it by 2. So, 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 divided by 2 cannot be, so bring it down. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. Now, all the numbers here outside the continuous division symbol will be multiplied. And that will give you the LCM. So, 3 times 5 times 2 times 2. And that will give us 60. Okay, for the last given, which is trying to solve for the LCM of 15, 45, and 50. So, think of a number that can be divided to 15, 45, and 50, which is a prime number, and that is 3. So, 15 divided by 3 is 5, 45 divided by 3 is 15, and 50 divided by 3 is cannot be. Now, the quotients are 5, 15, and 50. Think of a number that can be divided to these three given numbers, and that is 5. So, 5 divided by 5 is 1. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 50 divided by 5 is 10. 1 and 3 are already prime numbers, but 10 is still composite. So, we need to make 10 a prime number also. So, we need to divide it by the smallest number or prime number, which is 2. So, 1 divided by 2 is 1. 3 divided by 2 is 3. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now, since all the digits here outside the continuous division are all prime numbers, and all we have to do is just multiply all these numbers. And I arrange it in or from least to greatest, which is 2 times 3 times 3 times 5 times 5. And that will give us 450. Okay, so now let's try to solve this problem by answering the following question. There are 18 boys and 24 girls. If they will be grouped separately in teams with the same number, what is the biggest number of children in a group? Okay, the first one is what is asked in the problem, and that is the number of children in a group. The next one is what are the facts given? So these are the 18 boys and 24 girls. Next is how will you solve the problem? Of course, by getting the GCF. Next is what is the answer to the problem. So all we have to do is just get the prime factors of 18 and 24. So I get the prime factors of 18, which is 2 times 3, which is 6, times 3 will give you 18. And 24, 2 times 2 will give you 4, times 2 is 8, times 3 will give you 24. Now, let's see with this given. Okay, so they have the same numbers or digits, which are 2 times 3. Okay, so they will be grouped in 6. We just multiply 2 and 3 and we got 6. Next number 2. A factory is to pack pencils in boxes of 8 and 10 pieces. What is the smallest number of pencils that can be found using the boxes? Okay, for the problem, how will you solve? So, that is finding the LCM. What is the answer to the problem? Okay, the answers are 2 times. Okay, we still need to solve. O, yan, solve natin. So, 8 and 10 can be divided to 2. So, that is 4. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 4 is composite. 5 is prime. So, we still need to make 4 a prime number. So, we divide it by 2. So, 4 divided by 2 is 2. 5 divided by 2 is cannot be. So, we just bring it down. And all these digits outside this continuous division, we just multiply. So, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. And 8 times 5 is 40. Therefore, the LCM is 40. Okay, so I think you are already want to begin our assignment. So, kindly get your modules and turn it on page. Let's try and let's create on your module. Okay, your answers will be written on a clean one whole paper. If you can show your solution, that would be better. Okay. Thank you for watching my math video lessons. I hope you learned a lot today. So don't forget to click the like button and share button and click also the notification bell para lagi kayong updated sa mga math video postings ko. So don't forget to subscribe. Goodbye!